Well, Anne,
Yeah.
I think we should get started. What do you think?
Okay, sure. Yeah. Welcome to everyone for coming. I'm so glad you're here. We're all glad you're here. We've gotten to know your name. I mean, of course, many of us know each other, but we've gotten to know your names and your beautiful images. It's so exciting to see you all here tonight. And I'm going to turn it over to Leslie, who is the whole purpose behind the whole fire starter behind this exciting project.
I do like to start some fires. Some of them turn out good, and I think this is one of them. So thank you all for being here. If you are here, it's because you were invited here because you are what we consider one of the very top artists because you made it through to this phase. So we're very excited for you. I do want to introduce my team because they are really, really important. Anne Looney and I met a few years ago in Atlanta, and she is just, if you don't know Anne, if you haven't had the opportunity to call her a friend, you're really missing out. So try to get to know her, her demeanor and her way that she goes about things and the way that she writes and talks to people just makes everybody feel loved, and it's really elevated this project to a new level, the way that she thinks. She actually worked for the National Portrait.
The National Gallery of Art.
Mm-hmm. National Gallery of Art. And so she just brings a whole new mindset to this project, and she's our chair. So we're really excited to have her. Ella Carlson is our current vice president.
President-elect.
President-elect. Yeah, we just switched over. So I'm
yes.
She is the president-elect.
9 days old.
She's going to be running everything soon. So so be nice to Ella. Your life is in her hands. Ella came on to help us with all of the design work. And from what you see tonight, you're going to realize that she is another person that we cannot live without. So we're so thankful for Ella and everything she's done to put the book together and lend us any guidance. And Tom Rouse, I don't really think I need to introduce him. Everybody knows him, but he is basically our godfather. So we are these three women that are looking to him for guidance, and we always find it. Tom always has words of wisdom. He knows about the art world. He knows what he's doing. His demeanor mimics Anne's and Ella's. I think I'm the weirdo on this team. Y'all are all nice and calm, and but Tom has been able to really help us lay a good foundation and get into different places that we might not have before and think like the artist that Tom is. And if you know what kind of artist Tom is, you know that we've really gained a whole new mindset. So I really want to thank them. And I also want to introduce Michael Gilbert, who's not on this phone call, but he is an amazing person who lives in Hawaii. He's an artist. He is one of the artists that helped curate this exhibit. And he has given lots of guidance as to where we can put this exhibit in the future. And he's helping us with some of our future endeavors. So thank you to all of you. And now I think I'm going to turn it over to Ella.
Hi, everyone. It's been my job to look at your amazing artwork and to put together a movie, well, a video about some of it that includes the book. So we put together a book of, let me get my screen here. Oops. Okay. And that is going to be what we send out to the museums. Let me get this going. And this is a little video of what's in the book, so you all can kind of thumb through it together. So here we go. And that is the book.
Yay!
Nice. Well,
Awesome.
Thank
The
you.
watching that just makes me full of pride and want to cry because it's taken so many hours to put this together, and I know it has on y'all's part as well. And so this body of work is truly amazing, and that's not me saying this as a photographer or an ASP member. That's me being told this by outside sources, such as people who work in museums or other artists or people, buyers. And so this isn't just self-fulfilling. This is something right now that the world really needs. And we did it in a fashion that is 100% top notch and really a remarkable body of work altogether. So we're really, really excited about that. When we first started this project, it was just supposed to be one exhibit of about 25, 30 images, and we would pick those and it would be no big deal. And so we started this process and we received 400 images and 450, somewhere around there.
Just under 400, sorry. Yeah.
Just under 400. And so it was a much, people really enjoyed doing this and wanted to be a part of it. So when we did that, we had these images that we really loved and fit the Maker's Muse really well. And there were far too many of them. And so we decided that we needed to expand what we were doing. So we could have very well stopped, with what we promised, but those images were too great to not show the world and not be a part of a traveling exhibition. So we broadened our horizons and we opened up new ones. And you could see in there was one called Form, one Images for Women. And so we broke this up so that we can farm these exhibits out to more places than one, or have it stand as one large body of work if we can find a place big enough to host all of it. So our intentions were to start small, and we couldn't because there were none of these could be let go. They were just too amazing. So we scrapped our first idea and started over so that we could include them all. And our trajectory was amazing, and we were really going for it. And we had a couple of things, the groundwork laid for a couple of things for imaging in Grapevine. And, the ball with us had to stop for a little bit, as it did with everybody else. So the effects of the pandemic were felt within the museum project. And I'm really glad they were, because while it put us behind on some things and we had to, we can't pursue other things, it also made us rethink what we were doing. And so in this year that we have had to rethink what we were doing, we have found other venues that maybe aren't museums, but maybe it would sell the artwork better, or maybe it would be able to be seen in front of more people, or maybe it would be able to travel more. So we've come up with all of these really great ideas that we're now pursuing. So it's morphed into more than just museums, but what we want to do is we want the world to see your artwork, and then we want them to buy it from you. So that's something that we're really excited to collaborate with you on and to lift you up. The goal of this project is to lift up our members and to lift up photography as a whole, so that people who maybe are ignorant to what all goes into photography and the different mediums that we use will know a little bit more about how it is really artwork. So that's kind of where we are right now. And I don't know if I want to expand on that now or maybe in the weeks to come, but let's see. I think it's Tom's time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Tom, I just muted you accidentally, so you have to unmute yourself. Sorry.
Trigger finger over there.
all this time I've been talking, I've been muted. You have no idea how brilliant what I was saying was. And I wanted to thank Leslie for the introduction, but I think it was a very polite way of saying he's the oldest guy in the room.
No, we're all the same age.
I want to point out that, you know, when we had our first meeting for this committee, were there 10, 12, 15 people there?
Yeah.
Just us four left.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of proud of that. As Leslie pointed out, it was, I don't have to tell you, it was a weird year. But I think there's some silver linings in it. Everything's different. You know, everything in terms of getting into a gallery or museum, those pipelines are really backed up. But the whole art world has changed. A lot of it's gone virtual, and all the big name galleries were upset because you know, they couldn't have openings, they couldn't have this and that. And then they got to the end of the year and their bottom lines, and many of them were actually higher, selling virtually and having virtual exhibitions. So I think we have so many more opportunities now. What, how long has it been? A year and a half later, we have all kinds of opportunities that we didn't imagine in the beginning. So I'm so thankful for your patience. Everything's been slower than we imagined, but I think I really think there are some silver linings. We got a lot of opportunities that we didn't imagine at the outset, and we'll discuss some of those. And I think it's going to take another meeting at some point to discuss all of those, because we have so many ideas. But in the meantime, we put together a virtual gallery. I'm going to show that to you, and we will send you links to the gallery. It's not perfect. There may be a few flaws in it because I'm not very good at proofreading, but thankfully Anne is, and it's pretty good. I did some corrections today. We can give you the URL, and at some point, with both the book and the URL, we want you to post that as many places as you possibly can. I think that's where we're going to generate some interest in that. I want to point one other quick thing. I don't want to get longer winded, but we have so many more images than we expected to. And some of the feedback we're getting is about curating the images. There's no unifying theme visually to all these images. They're landscapes and babies and flowers and wackiness and all these things. The unifying theme is that we are all professional commercial photographers. And that's what unifies us. And that's kind of the direction I think we're going to take in terms of curating exhibitions, is that we are all professional retail working photographers. This is what we do from the heart. This is what we do for the love of the game more than our commercial work sometimes. So anyway, let me show you this virtual gallery to which you will all have access, and we will encourage you to show it far and wide. Okay, are you seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, so I think Anne discovered this platform for it. We looked at a lot of different virtual galleries, but this one was the best in terms of ease of use, user friendliness, cost, any number of things. So this is what you're going to get when you open up the gallery. It has a number of functions. I'm just going to go into it here. It'll take these images a moment to catch up. You can navigate it manually. It's difficult, but you can do it. But you don't have to. So as soon as you click on an image, zooms right into that image. Excuse me, I got to move this screen out of the way to get to the controls. So you get an image. It says over here, it's got information, gives you the artist statement, the price, the dimensions, all of that stuff. And I'm going to go to the next image. Again, I got to move this screen out of the way here. I want to see all your faces, but I can't see the gallery. Okay, so we can navigate it, yikes, manually, or we can go to starting a tour, and it will it's automated here. And I'm not going to go through the whole thing automatically. Its pace is a little bit slow. I don't want to take up all your time. And as soon as we click on an image, we come right to that image. So I want to go back to the whole gallery. First of all, it looks hard to navigate, and it is a little bit hard to navigate. Of itself, but As soon as you get an image up, you can just go to the next image. Or the previous image. Let's go to the next image, I'm sorry. We can just click on through all of these images. As I say, you hit the information button, you get the artist statement and the big information. And I'm going to thumb through all of them quickly. As I say, there's an automated tour that spends about 20 seconds on each image. I won't do that now. The size of the image is based on whatever the dimensions of your image are. And they will show that way. So some of them look bigger, some of them look smaller, but when you click into an individual image, they come up of a reasonable size. And forgive me for flying by your images so quickly. I don't want to take up all your time. You'll have the chance to do this all on your own as soon as we're done with the session tonight, I think. I shouldn't have said that. We may have to email you the link rather than have you try to copy it. Whoa, you get dizzy doing that. And I think this is where we started, is it not?
Yeah. Okay,
I think I'm not sure. I'm not sure we've been through all of them quite yet. And I want everybody's image to come up. I also want to point out that this is the Maker Muse. We had so many great images. We had to break them up. And we're going to do a number of exhibitions. And, hopefully we'll get a chance to put them all in the same place, but we may break them up into different kinds of themes and spread them out. And I think it's going to take all of us to do this, especially in this, let's see. I think, oh yeah, so you can navigate this manually. It's difficult, but again, as soon as you click on an image, it pops right up into that, and then you can proceed. You can automate it. You can do all these things. You'll just have to play with it and see how that works. And we'll be doing more of these, I think. I think that's our plan. We don't want to put them all in one exhibition. It would just be overwhelming. So that's what I got. And thank you. We'll get this link to you. Here's what I think, and we didn't discuss this beforehand, but I think we'd probably be best if we sent out an email with the link rather than try to copy it off the screen.
Yes, I'd be happy to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a problem? Because it's a fairly lengthy URL. And that could be embedded in just a Maker's Muse or something like that. But we'll do that. And tell us what you think. If we've made an error, not that I think that's even possible. Should we have made an error in anything you see about your image, please just let us know. I can correct it. We don't have to change the URL. I just have to edit it. And I checked that out today. So I can edit it, same on URL, and you can come back to that. So, okay, now I gotta find out how to get out of here. Oh, I'll stop the share. And who's next?
I think we're swinging it back to Leslie for a minute.
Okay.
No.
Back to me.
Anything else you wanted to say before I open it up for questions?
I think that's all right now. I did want to mention that while Ella and Anne and Tom can carry the weight of the world on their shoulders alone, if you would be interested in helping us in any way, or if you enjoy certain aspects, and I'll let Anne go into that, then we would love to have you. You know, we want to reach as many galleries and museums and art trails and art lovers and art buyers and that we can. So if you have something that you could bring to the table, or if you just want to learn about this and dive in with us, then definitely give us a call, because this is an ongoing project. You know, if it stays in a place and we have, you know, 5 places for it, this could be years and years. So we're really excited about the longevity of this project, and hope to get more hands on deck.
Could I add to that just a little bit? As I was saying earlier, we have so many more opportunities than I think we imagined. Those opportunities are like pop-ups. We've discussed all the opportunities that hotels might provide. Michael Gilbert has had some real insight into that, can help us a lot. But individually, we might do, in your town or your market, we might do a fundraiser, we might do this or that. And, I think we have so many opportunities that, again, that we didn't foresee. And part of that is was opened by the pandemic. There's always a silver lining. And I think there's some opportunities that have come out of this pandemic that we didn't have when we initiated this project. And in terms of help, the 4 of us have put literally collectively hundreds of hours into this. So yeah, we would certainly like your help. There's all kinds of things that we could be doing. If you got some time and some interest, we would love to have you jump on.
Great. Thank you, Tom and Leslie and Ella. A couple bookkeeping things, or housekeeping things, I guess is what I should say, is in addition to what Tom just said, and Leslie specifically, we're looking for people right now. I mean, if you think you have something you can offer, and we just bring it, because we love collaboration, and, you know, we're really starting to spread out our tentacles now. But one thing is, if anybody here is good with outreach and really feels comfortable interacting with possible locations, we would love to have you help us, because that's where we're really running our wheels at the moment. A couple other things are, we're shooting for a summer exhibit in Texas, where our sites are on Lubbock right now, and we're looking to do some sort of an art trail, which should be really exciting, but we're working on all these different options. And then we're hoping and planning for a bigger exhibit adjacent to Imaging USA in DC, which is where I live and a few other people on this call live. So we're working hard on that too. We're gonna have an outreach packet available for anybody who wants to shoot some information out to their own contacts, so that you have our cohesive narrative, and we'd love to give that to you. We're still finalizing that. Also, eventually, you saw what Ella did, which was stunning. We're going to be working on an exhibition catalog for each of our exhibitions that will have a lot more curatorial aspect to it, and that would be printable. And also, one other thing that's important is, when you get these the URL for Tom's 3D exhibit, if you look at your own URL and are reminded of what you provided to us, please make sure that that goes to a place on your website or wherever it goes that actually is a direct and logical location for someone who's interested in buying that piece of art. Just make sure that that's a good direction for them to end when they click on that URL, because this could make a real sale for you, and you want to make a good impression with them. And then I guess the only other thing is to simply ask if anybody has any questions.
Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, what did I miss?
Bob, we put you in charge.
I do have a question.
I knew I shouldn't have been late. I knew it.
You know it'll happen. Who has a question?
I do have a question. No. If I were to do this, I'm not saying I should, but is there like where they have the file specifications, how you want the file, the image resolution?
Yes.
I'm saying, do you have the requirements of the file if I were to do this?
Yes, if you're going to enter in a future, we're going to open up for more entries in a future year, and we definitely provide all the details that you would need in the submission form.
And you want it, so you'll tell if they want it framed and matted and,
yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes. And if you, just so you know, Lubbock is kind of we're about 2 hours away from New Mexico. we're called the hub city for a reason. We're 6 hours from everyone. And so we're 6 hours from Oklahoma City, 6 hours from Dallas, 9 hours, 10 hours from Houston, 5 hours from Albuquerque, 6 hours from Central Colorado. So if you know of anyone in that radius, we would love to figure out a travel route, possibly to lead us to DC in January. I'm looking at all of my Oklahoma City, Tulsa people right but you know, if you can all be working on something that you might know in your area, or if you're anywhere in between New Mexico and Washington, DC, that we would want to maybe come back on that route on our way to California. Those are some of the logistics that we're still having to figure out. So we want to make sure that we have all of that down and that we can put your place in the right place. So we're not traveling from California to Florida to DC to New Mexico, right? So anything that you can think of or any contacts, this is the time so that we can get all of that cleared up.
And if we can hit your town, that would be ideal, and have you be featured in our educational experience with the community.
Yes, so the goal is once we hit your town, let's say that we're in Tulsa where Leslie is, to ask her, you know, what's the charity that you love the most? Where are the places that might be best? And she's going to hook us up with the right people. And then in turn, she's going to be at the ribbon cutting of the exhibit, or if there's any newspaper articles or any stories, she would be kind of our face for that area. And then there's lots of learning opportunities. So a lot of museums really want the educational aspect to go along with the artwork that they provide or that they show. So there might be a time that you could teach something in the museum to students or to, you know, all ages or to beginners or whatever it is. So they're really interested in that, which will only strengthen your business if you have a retail business, and, you know, it's only going to get your name out there more. So we're looking forward to all of the local things we can do for you. And we're also looking forward to you being able to write a press release that your work is being shown across the country. So both are going to be equally wonderful.
I see that Jill Baccuccio has her hand up.
Hi, I was wondering, is there someone who could help with pricing? Because I have no idea what to ask for. So.
Yeah,
as much as you can get.
I'm sorry?
As much as you can get.
$4.50.
More than you think.
Yes. The one thing we do want to ask everybody about the pricing is just when you get the URL to Tom's 3D, look at, for the Maker's Muse that's already up there, look at your pricing and make sure that it's not in competition with another place that you have this for sale. I mean, make sure it's not over, you know, it's undercutting some agreement you have with somebody else. And if you guys, if anybody needs to be given the information that they submitted to us, I'm happy to send it to you. Just email me at annkellystudio@gmail.com, which is in the chat. And I'd be more than happy to send you exactly what you sent us, which is what we're going off. And we're happy to change anything. It's totally fine with us. We want to make it right for you. And Jill, we do have a Facebook page that if that there has maybe there or maybe on these meetings, there have been some price help discussions, but you could put a question out there too and maybe directly connect with somebody.
Great, thanks, appreciate it.
Sure.
That really is a big issue, because the whole trend in pricing fluctuates regularly. You can price yourself too low. I mean, I've had that experience where you actually don't sell something because your price is too low and people disregard your work just because of the price. You can be too high. There's a trend now towards more reasonable prices, particularly online. But it's just like any other product. There's I forgot what you call that chart, but it's finding the right price so that you have the most profit, whether you send 10 at 100 or 5 at 1,000. There's a right price that will, and that's difficult to determine, but I think that would deserve a meeting on its own from perhaps the gallery owner or something that really knows that
That's
Right.
a great idea. That's a great idea.
And again, that's a fluid thing. What you charge for your work is very fluid with the market.
Also, we are able to offer, note that your images are in editions. So that's another feature, I think, Tom, right, of the 3D gallery. So that if you are offering...
That's a whole other discussion of whether you should put it in editions or not. I have my views, but other people have theirs. So I don't think there's a right answer to that, but there is a consideration about whether you want to have a limited edition or whether you would rather not. I personally have a limited editions of some things that I've already done, but all of my newer work will not be a limited edition. It will be just what it is.
There's a lot of paperwork and proofing that you need to do, especially if you're selling across the country in different states, that you prove that, hey, if you're selling only 10 of them, you have to prove where they've been sold and what size they've been sold. And if you don't have that official paperwork, you can actually end up in some serious trouble with that too. That's another issue to worry about with that.
Exactly. I live in fear of that because I'm not organizational. And I live in fear that I'm going to sell the same print with the same number or something like that. And
shoot, I wish we could alleviate that for you, Tom. That's a terrible burden to live under.
It hasn't mattered, I assure you.
So I have a question.
Yes.
Should I go ahead and send you guys my image with the border and the frame on it so that when it's in that gallery exhibition, it looks more true to life as to when it'll be, if it were sold? Does that make sense? Because it's matted and framed.
I think I'm just speaking my point of view. We haven't discussed that, but I think, sure, if you know how you're going to mat it and frame it, send that in. I don't know if that should be in the gallery or not. Maybe at some point it should, but if you know, might as well send it in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just as a thought, my gallery always shows the image and not the framing, because framing can actually stop you from selling an image. You can always change the frame, but if you show them it in a frame, they think it lives that way. So my gut says just show the images the way they, without any framing, without any stuff on it. Let them see the thing, and if they love it, you'll find a way to frame it to make them happy.
Right.
Just a thought.
There are conflicting thoughts with that. My wife would beg to differ with you, and I differ with her. I think if the image doesn't capture you, the frame's not going to make a difference. If you don't like the frame, well, we'll change it. So.
Okay.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I noticed I think I was the only one that included a signature on my image. So should I maybe change that and don't have a signature on the image?
Yeah, Ed, if you send us one without the signature, then we'll have both. That will be great. Thank you. That would be
okay.
wonderful.
Yeah, I think the signature is fine. I think probably we should all have done that.
There are a couple more that have signatures on it. You don't have
okay.
to
I didn't notice.
Yeah.
I just thought the parade was going the wrong way and I was the only one going the right way or the other way around,
So if you send that image to me at AnnKellyStudio@gmail.com, that would be excellent. Okay. I'll get it to Tom, and if he needs it.
Did we originally, when we submitted everything, send in like a mock-up? For some reason I was thinking we did, or maybe we just.
We did ask you to send both. Well, originally you sent in only the image, and then when you'd been accepted, we asked you to send in the mock-up with the frame, so that we could make sure that museums knew what they were what your desired presentation was, so we could shop it that way. So thank you for sending that in, and we are still waiting for a few people to send some things, and I won't name anybody here, but you might know who you are.
So I've already done that. Thank you, Leslie.
It's not me. It's not me.
Guilty.
Yeah, yes. Okay, Yeti. It might be Leslie. It might not be Leslie.
I'm hoping I could call it a favor. I'm so busy working on everyone else's.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? That's the, I think that Bruce had a question.
Yeah, it was going back to the pricing. Since we might be having in different type of markets, it makes it difficult. Do we have different prices for each thing, or do we have a consistent price across the board, regardless of where it's going to be presented?
That's an excellent question. Does someone want to answer that?
I want to reiterate what you said or Leslie said. If you have work in a gallery for $500, it should not appear anywhere else for less than that. I mean, you have to honor you have a commitment to your gallery. And we all want to bitch about galleries taking half our money, but we're partners with our galleries, and it's just not fair. I've had people see my work in gallery and then call me directly to see if I could buy it cheaper. And I won't do that. I won't cheat the gallery because we got a deal. And I think your pricing absolutely should be no less. It can be more, but it can be no less than what you're showing in your galleries. That's the first thing. But yeah, you could charge more in various markets. I don't think there's any problem with that. You just can't cheat the gallery that you're with and that you have a gallery that you have an agreement with.
Does anyone have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I've sold pieces. My people have come straight to me and I say, well, actually it's going to cost you a little bit more than if you buy it through the gallery, because I'm not set up for packaging and shipping and stuff, and they handle all that. So I'm going to have to charge you more. And some people have still gone ahead and bought with me, and I've sent a check to the gallery for that sale, and vice versa. Other people have called the gallery and said, hey, you know what? Really appreciate that, man. These people came and they told me they came to you, and that you wouldn't, that you were going to charge them more. We thank you for that. Don't ever piss off your gallery. It's not right.
I agree.
Good point, Tom.
The
aspect
exception is if your work is if the piece of work that you have in this ASP collection or any other piece of work is not included or is not being shown in the gallery otherwise. And I think a lot of what we hope to be doing is pop-up galleries here and there. If you have work that's not already in a gallery, you can put that in and you can put a price on it, and you can even negotiate down or up if you wish to. And I've had that experience. Pop-up galleries, I think, have been some of my, I know they've been some of my best single sales anywhere. And partly because I negotiated prices for multiple images. So I think Bob and I were talking about, if you have work in a gallery, a specific piece, don't undercut that price anywhere.
I have a question. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So talking about that pricing situation, so are we saying that if we're exhibiting in a gallery in Lubbock, that we would have one price structure in that catalog? And then if we came, say, to Bentonville for Crystal Bridges, some people could choose to charge a higher or lower price? I mean, that's what it sounds like.
I think the idea is to charge higher, but not lower.
Yeah.
Well, I think within our exhibit, we're going to try to keep the prices the same no matter where we travel to, because that would just be too much logistical work for our little small team. So once you set a price with us, I think it's fairly well set, unless someone, calls you or whatever. But if you already have a deal with the gallery, that's what we're saying. You can set your price higher than you did with them, but not lower, out of respect for that deal that you've already made with the gallery.
And if you've signed a contract with the gallery, make sure that for any piece that you have here, make sure that it's not an exclusive contract. There are galleries that insist that, particularly with photography, because we make prints, right? We're gonna have multiple images. Make sure that you're not in the fine print exclusively, that image exclusively gets represented by them. I think that goes without saying, but if you sign something exclusive that this image is yours to sell, no one else's, then make sure you don't violate that. otherwise, yeah, if you go to different markets, if you're in Lubbock and now and you've got something in New York and Manhattan, or triple the price. Why not? Again,
Tom,
it's not exclusive.
Tom, you were saying something about if you're not in a gallery, which I'm not, and I wasn't following what you were saying as far as the pricing was concerned.
We're just saying that if you are in a gallery.
No, let's say you're not in a gallery.
Oh, then that's all on you.
Okay.
Yeah. So again, you could charge it one price in one market, one price in another. You could do that just as kind of what do they call it? You can put out two different prices and see which sells better. You can do anything you want. It's only if you have a piece in a gallery, don't cheat your gallery is all we're saying.
And that follows as well for this show or any of these shows associated with this project. You don't want to undercut the pricing on any of the images that you have that are in this project.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, and keep in mind, some of the places we may be showing this work, if we're showing in galleries, they may be taking up to 60% of whatever price you put on it. So price accordingly. You need to not lose money on this. Profit's nice. So yeah, just keep in mind that just because one place may be taking 10% or 20%, there may be other places that take as much as 60%. So when you're putting your pricing on that, something to consider.
Some of the things you can do with the 3D exhibit link when you have it, in addition to just embedding it in your website, is you can use it as a sales tool for sure, and maybe you could use it to shop to galleries as well. I think that would be great, and the exhibition catalog that we're going to create will be printable, so you'll be able to have that to show clients. You could show clients you could use the URL for the 3D exhibit for your clients as well. If you
or the booklet. I think looking at the booklet, I was astonished, especially when you put music behind it, Ella. It just that's pretty delicious. That's pretty delicious, and I think. I think you should be sending that booklet to potential clients or potential exhibitors probably before the URL.
Will we have a link to that as well?
Yes. Yeah.
Excellent. It really looked great.
I have it up on YouTube, so we can pass that link along for anyone who wants it to show potential galleries or spaces. Hey, Bob.
Does anybody else have any questions? Because we're gonna, we have some people who've joined after 8, and we'd love to show them the Ella's video. And but Leslie has her hand up. Yes.
I just really want to emphasize to you how proud you should be of yourself. Like I don't know if y'all are grasping how proud we are of you and how proud you should be of yourself to not only take the chance to do this, but then to make it into the museum, to make it into that wonderful booklet. I feel I have an image in there, and I feel like I'm completely unworthy to be with those other images. And I know I'm not alone when I say that. I know everybody feels that way about everybody else's images. And just being here, I mean, this is a big deal. This isn't a way for us to just lift up our own artwork or have great conversations amongst ourselves. This is a way for us to put this out there in front of all of America, and who knows where else it will lead to. So I just want you to understand how excited we are for you, and how our heart is in this for the betterment of your artwork and your talent. And I hope that you all choose to think the same way, and put this on your Facebook page or on your website or whatever, because this is a big deal. I think it's even bigger than winning an award, because this is just, this isn't us saying we're good at something. This is the outside world of artists that know what they're talking about saying that we're good at something. And I think that's a lot different when you take these artists of all, painters and photographers, and they all agree these are amazing. So I just want you all to be so proud of yourself and to show off your accomplishment, because it is truly a huge accomplishment.
Yes. Yeah, the book is, Bruce, the book is made so it can be printed. So that's a perfectly viable option for us. And we will do that. Right now, pretty much everything's digital or remote. So having it as a PDF works really nicely too. So.
Man, I just got to pile on with that notion, Leslie, too. This is, I'm speaking for myself, but I think we all feel this way. This has more potential than I think we imagined originally. And I think we're all disappointed by the pandemic, and this is going to slow us down. And now I'm feeling that this whole thing has more potential than we originally imagined. It's slower, certainly. There's more work than we realized, but it has more potential. And I want to put in one thing. I have always sold better in group shows than I have in solo shows. I've only had a couple of solo shows, but solo shows are very gratifying for your ego, but sales come from group shows because we all invite all our friends and they've seen our stuff. They don't want it, but they see, Leslie's or Joe's, or, they connect with somebody else, and we all invite our friends and we all sell better. I'm convinced of that. So if we all work together, and we're going to need your help, I absolutely insist that we're going to need your help to make the most of this. But we can sell some work this way. I'm convinced.
I agree with that.
You guys, I just put the link. If you haven't, if you've sent in your accepted image data for one, but not all of your accepted images, I just put the link in the chat. If you still need to access that to send us your goodies, we really want them so we can shop them around and while we have manpower to create all the marketing tools that we need.
Okay.
So I want to talk a little bit about how this project got started. We invited the artists to start with us at 6:30 Central, and we've had some other people come on since then. And I just want to share a little bit about the history of this project, and then we're going to make sure that the newcomers get to see the wonderful things that Tom and Ella have done for us digitally. I think Joe asked when the book is going to be released. Right now we're keeping it in its digital form to send out as a marketing piece, but we do have plans later to do something a little bit heavy duty, depending on all of the venues and if they would like to use something. And so we're kind of waiting to see what that aspect is. I don't know about you, but I would definitely purchase the book with my image in it. Y'all let us know if that's something in the chat room that y'all would be interested in. But we don't want to just reach us. This is not to self-gratify. This is to reach other people. This is to line your pockets. This is to have artwork out there. So we want to do something where it's not just for the photographers and ASP, but it's for really everybody. So I want to talk about the history of the project. And I don't know, Southwest PPA folks, you can tell me when this was, but we were in Oklahoma for the very last Southwest PPA conference in, what year was that? 20 something. I had all my kids, so it was after 2013.
It was 16 or 17, wasn't it?
Okay, 2016 or
16.
Thank you. So 16. So we had an ASP board meeting there, and that's when I originally proposed this idea that was way out there and, kind of, I don't know. But somehow it got approved, and that's how long we've been working on it. So the portion, it's like the glacier, the part underneath that you can't see is way bigger than the little part that you've been able to see so far. So we've been working on it for quite a long time. But the reason I had the idea is because we surveyed all of our members, and the survey came back saying, I want 3 things. I want fellowship with my friends. I want to meet other photographers and get to know people. I want help with my business, and I want help with my artwork. And so networking, we started a couple of things. The Zooms, I would say, would even be considered networking. We started, we went to New Mexico. We were going to go to Greece. And then the business aspect, we started the mentor program. And then the art aspect, we started this museum project. And as of this year, 5 years later, we started the Images of Distinction. So this came to help people understand or put out their artwork if they don't even know how to do that yet. So, or maybe they don't have enough artwork that they want to show as a whole body and they just want to put one or two together. The problem with being an artist and showing an exhibit by yourself is you have to print and frame and mat and handle all of that, and that's a lot of money. So by us being together, we're still getting the same benefit, but everybody's not having to spend as much to get there. So that's kind of where it came about. And then I found this wonderful group of people, Tom and Anne and Ella, and we started working together, and we had the portfolio review where the artists, 4 of them were from the United States and 1 of them was in Ireland. They reviewed all of the images, and then we had a curation process after that. And that's kind of where we've come to this spot. Now, whenever you're getting in a museum, there can be a year to 2 years to 3 years of headway before that. So there's a chance that the first thing we book is in 2025 with a great museum. So we know that this exhibit that has been curated and put together can last 3 to 5 to 7 years. We're saying kind of 5 is the average. And if we have this and it lasts 5 years, and then in 2 years we start another one that lasts 5 years, I mean, we're going to have artwork all over the world, hopefully by the end of that. So that's kind of where the brainchild came and how it all got started. Awesome.
Leslie, we got about 10 minutes left, but I'm not sure how many more people have joined since we first showed the book in the gallery.
I think we need to show it again.
Okay.
Ella, would you like to go first, or should we have Tom go first this time?
Up to you.
Go ahead. Well, you know what? I think the book is cooler than the gallery. Let me show you the gallery. Whoops. I lost it. Let me show this real quick. Oh, we just want this one. Okay.
Oh yes. While y'all are looking, I do want to give a big congratulations to Joe. His artwork will be he's making an aviation book, and it's going to be released about May. So I want everybody to be looking for that and support Joe when that comes out.
Hey, bravo, Joe. Those are cool. Those are really cool, Joe. I love them. Yeah, here we're in the gallery here quick. I'm gonna go to the beginning, start a tour. We're not at the beginning, so I'm not gonna do that. Back to start. Okay, yeah, we entered this gallery. There's a couple of ways to use it. You can just click on an image and you'll go right into that image. And if you want to see the information on the image and the artist statement, you just click on that little panel up here. You can navigate this once you click on an image, then you can just go to the next image and the next image and the next image, and right up here, you know, is the information on that particular image. You can also do an auto tour, and we'll try that. Start tour. I think I started it. I don't know what the delay is. Yeah, you'll just automatically go from one to the next, but still you can look at the information on each particular image, and it will proceed that way. Or you can navigate it manually. It's difficult, but there's a way. As soon as you click on an image, you can just advance to the next image instead of trying to navigate your way around it. And it's I think it works well. And I'm just gonna give my screen back and let Ella show you the book. I think both of these things are going to be valuable. Some people just have to have gimmicks to do it. I think Ella's book is far more dramatic with the music behind it. And Ella, will that music be behind it with the link that you send, or is that
Yes.
not?
Yes.
It is. That's okay.
Yep.
So
Yep.
no royalty.
It's all legal, all purchased the way it should have been. So yeah.
Thanks, Ella, for keeping us honest.
As soon as I can figure this out. Oh, here we go. Stop share.
Okay.
And we can show that book to prospective people that we connect with in our communities, correct?
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what it's
I mean,
for.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the book has everything in it with the image explanations from the artists for the Maker's Muse, but we haven't added that for all the other pieces yet.
Right, right. And the book, if we decide to have separate little exhibits, can be broken up for each exhibit. So, you know, we just got all the raw material in there and put together as a whole right now. And I just want to say again, what a pleasure it was working with these absolutely amazing images. It was a delight. So here's the book. Well, thank you.
Bravo, Ella. That, I mean, it truly is. That's a great piece.
Gives me chills.
I'm sitting here in tears. That was just absolutely stunning.
Thanks, guys.
They'd be some talented folk in this group. Holy mackerel.
It's
Yeah,
true.
pretty amazing.
Dina, are you happy to be so well featured there? I hope so.
Yes, I'm completely shocked. I am amazed at all your hard work. You guys are rock stars. Amazing.
I love your image on the cover, Gina.
Mhm.
That's really
Very
cool.
Not worthy. Thank you so much.
Well, honestly, all we did was put the amazing together.
Yeah.
We're not the amazing part. The amazing part is the rest of the screen. And we're just happy to be able to do this with y'all. This is a great.
Collected the amazing and put it in one place. That's all right.
Exactly.
You did a beautiful job. Beautiful.
Hey, before y'all out start fading away, I know that'll happen soon. Photographers are I'm convinced that photographers hug more and cry more than any other professional. I don't see dentists getting together and crying and hugging too much. Or accountants. I don't think that happens. So I propose a group hug virtually.
Exactly.
Also
Yes.
for your contributions. And I think we can do big things with it. So love y'all. Stop filling yourself up, Bob. Stop it.
We're going to finish it here in about 3 minutes and let all of you go. We know you have a million things to do, but are there any last questions? Or if you want to type in the chat that you would like to join this extraordinary committee of people, then we welcome that as well. Or any questions about the project itself?
And remember to look in the chat for the link to, if you hadn't gotten all your accepted image data submitted, the form link is in there. And I promise that I will send out the links that Tom and Ella give me to send to you.
Yep. And this is being recorded, so we can put a link to that too, in case you want to watch this again.
So we have this wonderful presentation that we can pitch to various people in our communities, and then we direct them to Anne, right?
Yes, and when you pitch it, if you're going to pitch it to anyone, we have a form letter, like we're going to send you a packet of information so that it's all kind of together. But if you send this to anyone to pitch it, we ask that you copy myself and Anne and info@ASFP on it, so that if you're pitching it and someone else says that they're going to, we already have record that you've done it and we don't double duty or, look like we're not organized. So please, 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 if you give this to anyone, just copy us on it. We'll make sure that they go in our database of people that have been contacted already, and we can go from there.
So we're just going to say, hey, we've got this great opportunity for you. This is what it looks like, and here's your contact to find out more. Because
yes, I've copied these people on it, and I actually think you're not even going to have to say that. You're just going to have to copy the letter into your email. And we'll put together with that packet. So we are going to be sending out a packet. So hold tight, get all of your people together. If you do have people that you know of and you don't want to mess with contacting, if that's not your thing, email us their information and let us know if we can use your name as a point of reference, or if you really don't know them, but you know where they belong, and we can contact them for you.
And some of you have already done that. We really appreciate it. Eileen and John and whoever I'm forgetting, we really appreciate it. We have a whole contact list we have in there, and we're trying, as Leslie said, to make sure we don't look disorganized to the people who are taking their time to consider us. And there are some questions in the chat about the sale of the book. Ella, can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, we have it available now in PDF form. We're still putting in a few last dimensions and a couple of things that we're missing from certain artists, like won't be mentioned in this moment. But as soon as we get all that, then we are also planning at some point to have it as a printed edition as well. So
one of the questions was, will it be affordable so people can hand them to their clients?
Yes.
And will the individual artists be paying for that themselves?
For printed books? I don't know. I don't know.
The individual artists will probably pay for the books that they want to purchase and give out, but we're definitely, the book is not going to be a moneymaker for ASP. So we're going to do whatever we can to get the books in your hands. If it does go to sell on, I don't know, Amazon, let's say, well, then it's going to be a moneymaker. But for you, we're not trying to make money off of that. We want you to have it. So we're trying to keep the cost as low as possible. However, it's going to be good quality.
We are forming a book committee, a book printing committee. So if anybody feels that's their thing, please reach out to us.
If anybody wants to tell Tim Kelly that we already think
we've already assigned him that job. Many of you we have in mind for things. Just wait. We'll be calling you, I'm sure.
Or don't wait. Just
reach out.
Come to us. Any other questions?
Bob, you're on the hook.
I have one thing. Tom made a comment about dentists and lawyers aren't huggers, but Paul Biederman has joined us. He's a dentist. I'd like to know, Paul, photographers are quite the huggers. Would you say dentists are huggers too? Can you hear me? You're muted, so I don't know. I put you on the spot. He's one of my Maryland PPA colleagues.
To tell you the truth, I really don't know.
I think they're
so
just
that's a no.
black.
All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, if anything comes up, please email me, and I'll get the answer from the right person for you. And everyone who's offered to help do some footwork in their own town, Allie, and I know Leslie Hoyt had to leave, but she offered to also. Anyone, we really, and thank you. I see your hand there. We would love to work with you. So we'll try and make it as easy as possible. And
please, if y'all wouldn't mind just sending a group email to myself and Ann and just saying I'm interested in helping, so that we can we would hate for someone to say that they're interested and we drop the ball because we didn't see your hand or something. So if you can just send that email to myself and Ann, then that would be great. And if you send it through Facebook, just send it to Ann, because I've given it up until Easter. So I'm not going to get it. I'm not.
Awesome.
Should we be looking on the Facebook page to see if there's anything else you guys want from us? Because I haven't been looking. I'm sorry, everybody.
We haven't put much on. We have, of course, we have the ASP page, but we also have a private museum page of the people whose entries are in the museum project. And we haven't posted on there in a while, but there for a while, the members had some really great conversation going, and we're really helping each other with pricing and structuring and matting and all of that. So definitely get on there, and we will post on there if we have any news that we want you to know right away. So if you change your notifications to make sure you get notified when there's a post on there.
Cool. Yay.
Thank you.
Thank
you guys.
Thank you.
Good to see everybody.
Thank you very much.
Great.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Good to see you, Gina.
Good to see you all.
Hey, Jill.
So, thanks, everyone. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night, everybody. Stay safe.